What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA. I'm DS, he's Dino Bam Bam, and what the fuck is up? What's up? You think you're better than us? You're sitting there, like, you're looking on your phone, you're scrolling and shit? Grow up. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. But, on that note, I take it back, and also, you should follow us, you should like and subscribe. Dino Bam Bam, please tell them.
Where they could do that at?
Yeah.
You guys can do that at the 1078. Oh, Jesus Christ.
1078 is not us.
The 107 MMA.
1078 would be a three-man fight, by the way.
You down?
I feel like they do that in Russia.
Probably.
Like,
we've seen some weird shit.
What is it? Triple threat match? Is that what
Triple threat matches. I've seen 2-on-1s, like two skinny dudes versus like a big woman. I've seen some wild shit in Russia. I've seen some wild shit.
Two skinny dudes versus a big woman. Sounds like my college days.
Hey. All right. Anyways,
that's a lie. I've never been a skinny guy.
Okay.
So.
We've seen two skinny dudes and a big woman. We've seen that happen. The internet's a crazy place.
True.
Anyways, guys, while you're on that internet, do us a favor. Follow us at the 107 MMA here on YouTube. And while you're scrolling on your phone, not being an asshole, because he said you guys were assholes. I don't believe that.
I didn't use that so many words, but yeah.
Go to Instagram and follow us at the 107 MMA as well. We would really appreciate it. And I'm lit. You
can also find us at lemonparty.org.
Don't go there. Do not go there.
Or if you just Google Blue Waffle, you could probably find us like a couple pages down. So we've paid a lot in SEO to pop up in those particular searches. So in any case, tonight,
going off the rails,
we are breaking down UFC 288. It's a huge card. It's been a few weeks since I've had like that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Some people might call it butterflies.
Some might call it blue waffle.
Some might call it that. Yeah. I'm going to say I got a little feeling in my chest.
Yeah.
And the main event is obviously huge.
Yeah.
We have the return of Triple C.
Cringe
versus Cringe. Have you seen their little interviews together?
Yeah, it's so awkward. I love it.
It's kind of cute,
yeah,
but it's also like, come on.
Right.
Like, I feel like you know the Mike Tyson memes where it's like, now Kith. Like that, like that's like what right. I want to like. I just want to like push their little heads.
They
together.
might kiss after the fight. Who knows?
I feel like they not like kiss.
Yeah.
But they're definitely gonna be like emotional, no matter who wins or loses or whatever.
I do feel that.
In any case, we've got a stacked card, 14 fights on the docket. Let's jump right into it. We've wasted enough time. Dino Bam Bam.
Yes, sir.
First fight of the night is Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz Jr.
We are struggling today.
We'll get through it together.
Let's go.
Juntos.
I don't even know what that means.
That means together in Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah. In any case, Daniel Santos, the Brazilian, versus Johnny Munoz Jr. Yeah. Please, Dino Bam Bam, give me your thoughts.
Let's get it. All right. So, Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz.
I'm sorry.
Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz Jr. Daniel Willie Cat, 10-2 out of Shoot the Box. He's a Diego Lima guy. Training partner, of course, with the former champion Charles Du Bronx Oliveira, and it shows.
Yeah, he looks like a mini Charles.
Right.
The same trunks and everything.
And everyone calls him that. He's
yeah.
mini Charles Oliveira. He fights just like Charles Oliveira. He's going to come forward aggressively with the Muay Thai. Very aggressively. Sometimes he'll get knocked down. And when he gets knocked down, he's in guard, and he's just waiting for you to attack him.
Yeah.
And he's got great jiu-jitsu skills. He is literally just a small Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, I would say his jiu-jitsu is not quite as refined.
Agreed.
Yeah, and Charles, we've seen him like some crazy comebacks.
Yeah.
And we've seen Santos have some nice comebacks too, but against obviously lower opponents. But you're right. Yeah. I agree with you. On a micro scale, absolutely.
It's like Charles Oliveira if you took your phone and like pinched the picture.
Right. Yep.
Anyways, so Willie Cat's
He also has the frosted tips.
Yes.
Yeah.
They go blonde. It's their thing. It's the Shoot the Box Diego Lima guys. Willie Cat's 1-1 in the UFC, lost a decision in his debut to Julio Arce, and then last time out he beat John Castaneda in a wild fight. He got head kicked in that. He got dropped. He got wobbled multiple times.
Yep.
Then he ended up finding the finish with a brutal knee in the clinch. He's a super exciting fighter, ton of pressure. He's taking on Johnny Munoz Jr., 12-2. He's 2-2 in the UFC. Last time out he beat my boy Ludwig Xiaonan via decision. His two career losses are to Nate Maness by KO and then Tony Gravely in the first round. And that's nothing embarrassing there. I'm sorry. The Nate Maness fight, I believe, was a decision.
It was a decision.
Yeah, the Gravely fight was a knockout. nothing embarrassing there. We know Tony Gravely has stupid power early in fights, really athletic guy. When you deep dive into his record, though, there is something interesting there, and you see that he hasn't beaten anyone with a UFC win under their belt.
Yeah.
So that's a little concerning. He's a dangerous jiu-jitsu guy who looks like he doesn't want to get into a dirty fight. Another thing I noticed, his wrestling is not all that refined. The striking edge clearly goes to Willie Cat. The wrestling advantage probably goes to Willie Cat. The jiu-jitsu may be a wash, but if they get into the right position, either guy can sub each other. What do you think?
Nah, you're right. I guess you're right. Yeah. I just feel like Santos has more power. He's a physically stronger guy.
Agreed.
So maybe that's what I was thinking. Yeah. The skill-wise, you're right. It's very evenly matched.
I really do think that Willie Cat is the more dangerous
guy. Why is it Willie
here.
Cat? That's I like the nick. Yeah. It rolls off your tongue, but like Willie Cat.
It's probably something Brazilian.
What does he think it means? Like, is it one of those things where like Americans that get like Chinese symbol tattoos?
Maybe.
Willie Cat.
Right, and it's like Devastator. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's just like says ramen. Or, you know what I mean? Like hot dogs. Yeah.
But anyways, I'm taking Daniel Santos by TKO in the first. I just don't see how, outside of catching him with a sub, how Munoz can win this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you. I'm going to say Santos by TKO as well. That's literally what I've written right here. Please confirm.
Yeah, I can see that. It's highlighted blue.
Thank you. Tell them.
Highlighted blue.
Yep, thank you. I really like this guy, man. Yeah. I really do think, like you said, he does fight like a small Charles Oliveira. He puts on a show every time. I think ultimately he does want to keep it standing in this fight, and he does have the clear advantage there. And one thing I'll say is this guy is really fun. He puts on a war every time.
Yep.
One thing I really like about him is the angle elbows that he throws. He throws elbows at really wild angles.
Yeah.
Like, typically you think of an elbow as either a clinch strike or like a really like in the phone booth kind of strike. He throws them like from odd distances.
Like sort of like Yair.
Right, exactly, yeah. And like odd angles and like he like once they land, he's like, oh yeah, let's go. I love that he looks for the finish.
Agreed.
So he also has really vicious knees. If it goes to the clinch, I think he has a very distinct advantage here. You know, I don't mind Munoz. I like him, you know. I think that the power advantage is on the side of Santos too. He's shown good cardio too, you know. Arce did kind of outsmart him, and he had the better game plan. But he's legit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go Santos by TKO. I don't know if... You said first round. I don't know if I feel quite as confident, but first or second round. And I guess, yeah, if it's going to happen, probably first round. But I've seen him show that he can last into the second, too.
Yeah, he's tough.
Do you think Munoz has better cardio? I don't think necessarily he does.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So... Cool. Moving on to the next fight on the card. It's Joseph Holmes versus Claudio Ribeiro. And I guess I'll take this one first.
Ugly Man Joe. Great nickname, Ugly Man.
Great nickname and great haircut. He always has a cool hairstyle.
Mustache.
The mustache twirl, the different colored braids.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. He looks kind of like a small Greg Hardy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you know what I don't understand?
Huh.
I saw you like a post on Instagram.
Okay.
And it was like, come here, like Raul Rosas, like join us.
Yeah.
And it was
the
like
hype.
Greg Hardy was Greg Hardy was like, was he that hyped?
I mean, I think it was just like Dallas Cowboys guy.
I know.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like he shouldn't have taken as many fights as early as he did.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like if he kept like working on his skills and then taking fights, he would have been okay.
Yeah, because he.
But athletically, we talk about this. At the weight
peak,
class, you don't have athletes like that.
Yeah, I agree.
So I really wanted to see. I wish he wasn't such a piece of shit, right? But anyway, like, was he that hyped though? I didn't get that feeling as like Paige Van Zandt and like Raul and all. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get that same feeling that he was that hyped.
Right.
So, in any case, Joseph Holmes, really tall for the division, great reach, 80-inch reach. He's at his best, I've noticed, when he's putting on the pressure, right? When he's being walked back, I feel like there's a distinct difference in his demeanor, and there's a distinct difference in him as a fighter and the quality of fighter that he is. Versus Pickett, we saw that pretty clearly. He looked really good early on when he was putting on the pressure.
Yeah.
Then once Jamie Pickett started putting the pressure on him or started threatening the takedown, he kind of looked like a totally different fighter.
Agreed.
And that fight was pretty close overall. You know, but he kind of melted when the pressure was really on. He also looked like he was gassing, you know. I get it. He's a big guy, you know. He beat Amadovsky pretty handily, choked him out. So he's got some well-roundedness to him, you know. I feel like he's not one of those submission guys, obviously, that's going to go out and, like, look to take you down and submit you. But if he's beating your ass and then he's got a submission open, he'll take it.
I think once he gets you on the ground, which is his game plan, right? He has a bunch of wins by sub. That's kind of
Joseph Holmes?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You think, I see. I don't think. That's his. You think that's his game plan? I don't think that's his game plan. I think he wants to strike.
Oftentimes he'll. And I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, please. No. This is a conversation.
I think he does stick and move, and I think, as you mentioned, when he's the one going forward, that's when he's at his best striking.
Yeah.
When he starts moving back and he is low output, oftentimes that's when we see him at his worst. And I just think when he does attack takedowns, he starts looking for those subs. That's when we see Joe Holmes at his best. But we haven't really seen too much of that in the UFC. And I don't know. He's a weird fighter to me, man. Like, I think he has a ton of ways to win, but I just don't think he's a very smart fighter.
He's not a super smart fighter, and that's kind of what worries me.
Yeah.
I do like he's got physical gifts that so many fighters don't.
Yeah.
So when I see those type of guys, again, I say this many times on this podcast. I want good athletes in the sport, first and foremost. So I would love to see a guy like Joe Holmes win, Mm-hmm. He did lose to Jinyun Park, who's very good.
Yeah.
Yep. We've seen he's really good. I think, like I said, he's got a lot of physical gifts. He's just not super refined,
Yep.
He's a good rangy striker. He's got... Hey, Deadpool is tripping, dude. I don't know if you guys can see... You can't even see that on camera. He's been bouncing for...
A while now.
A while, dude. In any case, good knees, good teep kick. Here's a good analogy for you with Joe Holmes.
Okay.
When I was like damn near the same size when I was in grade school. I was like an elite player of basketball at Jameson Elementary.
Shout out Jameson.
Shout out Minnie Mars Jameson. Like, elite player.
Yeah.
Because I was like 5'11". Okay. I'm like 6'2" now, but I was like 6 foot.
You're a big kid.
In like 6th grade.
Right.
Or 8th grade. All right. So, and then when I went to high school, I remember coaches telling me, like, you're not playing as big as you are. Mm-hmm. Right? And that was always my problem because I wanted to be more like...
The flashy
and shit. Right. You know what I mean? Right? So, that's kind of how I look at Joe Holmes.
Okay.
Is like, he's got these physical gifts, but he doesn't fight like he does. Mm-hmm. He doesn't fight like he has that much range. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because as I mentioned, man, he backs up too much for me.
Yeah.
He is so low output. It's like being that much taller than these guys, having that much of a reach advantage that he has over these guys. Like, why aren't you attacking? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Make them go backwards.
Yeah. And he's at his best when he does that.
Yeah.
Also, both these guys have wild hair and beard too.
So what do you think?
In any case, I haven't even gotten to Claudio. I'm sorry, I dragged on that one. But Claudio, brutal KO on Dana's White, Dancing with the Stars. Super sloppy punch, but hella power, man. Mm-hmm. He's got really powerful low kicks. He's very powerful in general. He's not very technical. I would give the technical advantage to Joe Holmes, actually. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually disagree.
Okay, well, you're fucking wrong. So
that's fine.
He doesn't want it on the ground, though, I feel like. I do feel like Joe Holmes does have the advantage on the ground. Mm-hmm. My concern is that he's barely been out of the first round. We haven't seen him out of the first round. This should be close, man. I'm leaning Holmes by RNC.
Yeah.
Right? But he does leave his chin in the air a lot. He really does. And Ribeiro's got some serious power. I think he's going to be able to find it in the first. So, the height, the reach, it gives me a lot of pause. But I'm going to go Claudio by knockout.
Not too confidently. But
in the first, but not too confidently. And let me set the stage. I'm picking a few underdogs on this one, and I don't feel great about them.
Okay.
So, I don't feel great about a lot of fights.
The favorite here is Claudio Ribeiro, no?
No, it isn't. It is. For this one, I'm just saying.
In general.
Yeah. I do feel like the odds should be closer. Actually, man, at these odds, I think I wouldn't put in a parlay, but I will sprinkle a little on Joseph Holmes.
Okay. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
With saying Joe Holmes can win this fight. Can he? Of course he can.
Yeah.
I think he has more ways to win this fight.
He's just not aggressive enough, man.
I agree. I'm sure one of his first plans is going to be to get Ribeiro to the ground.
Yeah.
And ground and pound, look for a submission, and do all that. And if he can do that, he will win this fight.
Yeah.
I don't think Claudio Ribeiro is going to have too much in terms of getting up. But I think he does have good takedown defense. He keeps his hips pretty strong when that's going on. I just don't see it, though, man. I think Claudio Ribeiro's a little too wild for him. I think he's a little too dangerous on the feet for Joe Holmes.
Yeah. He's like a small Michel Pereira.
Yes.
But not as, like, flashy with the kicks. Yeah.
Agreed. And that was something that I was thinking when I was writing that.
Oh, really?
Earlier. Yeah. I didn't write it down, but it was a comparison that I was just kind of thinking
That's crazy, yeah.
And what I ended up saying is, I think if he can get a little winning streak going here together, or... Jesus Christ, my language is...
No, what? You're doing just fine,
If
man.
he can get a winning streak going... Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's okay.
If he can get a little winning streak going here, I think he can become a prospect with the hype, the level of Michel Pereira.
Yeah,
I think he can become like a little star in the
He is a little
Brazilian
younger,
market.
too.
Yeah.
I think 3 years, right?
Then who?
Joe
Holmes is the younger fighter here.
Holmes is the younger. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
by
This
3
guy's
years.
30, this guy's 27.
Correct.
Yeah. Man, yeah. The Abdul Razak Al Hassan fight, man, he did get laced, but man, Al Hassan's jacked, dude.
That's
and
Abdul
I will
Razak,
say, man,
you know?
Joe Holmes has fought the better competition. See, I think the odds should be closer, man. I think they should be closer. But I'm sorry, what was your final verdict?
Yeah, I'm going Claudio Ribeiro with a knockout. I think it would have to be in the first or second round.
Yeah, typically, yeah. Okay, cool. Moving on?
Sure.
Moving on to the next fight on the card, third one on the night. It's Zhalgas Zhumagulov versus Rafael Estevam. And I'll let you take this one first, buddy.
That's insane. All right. Zhalgas Zhumagulov, very well-rounded fighter. He's the king of losing razor-close decisions.
Yeah. Also, doesn't he have multiple wives? Doesn't he have multiple wives?
I think that was the story that came out for a while.
I've seen memes, so that's where most of my info comes from. So
shout out social media.
Yeah, don't mind me.
Anyways, he is 1-5 in the UFC. 4 of those 5 losses were decisions, most of which were very close. Random tidbit: his only loss in the UFC, his only win in the UFC. We were there. UFC 264 was the first fight of the night.
Did we miss that?
You missed it. I was there. You came like a fight late.
I was there pretty early, though.
Yeah. Anyways, he had a nasty standing choke against Jerome Rivera. He likes to push forward, control the octagon. That's when he starts to take over fights. And that's when he's at his best. Solid power, good wrestling, as the last name would suggest. He has a look of desperation on him when he fights, and I think that's what kind of causes him these close decisions, right?
He got a whack-ass haircut, too, bro.
It's tough. Did you see the Patty thing?
How you get a 4 all around?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, who am I to talk? Again, tell them again, though, please.
Like, the hair plugs?
Yeah, if they like and subscribe.
If you guys like and subscribe.
Yeah.
DS can get himself some hair plugs.
Yeah.
And then if we have enough change left over, I'll do it, too.
Do you know how hard I'd be pulling? Come on. Right?
He be.
Come on.
He be.
Right. So, anyway. I'm trying to be like...
Ooh.
Stiff what?
Whose hair would you want to get in the UFC?
Jon Snow.
He's not in the UFC. He should be.
Jon Snow?
Jon Snow.
In the UFC?
Shout out Egret.
Uriah Faber. Oh, that was
my
good.
girl.
That was good. Uriah Faber?
No, Egret.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Uriah Faber, that's the haircut you're going for?
You're a big ginger guy. Yeah. You like that shit. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Uriah Faber, bro. 100%.
Okay.
I'm trying to be like...
little surfer dude.
Oh, I'd love to do one of these.
That thing?
Yeah.
It's been a while since you've done that. It's been a hot minute since you've
There
done
was like one period of like 3 months of my life where I was able to do that.
And then you also did wear a wig as DJ Turbo Thought.
Oh, yeah. I did.
One of your many
DJ Turbo
monikers.
Thought. I'm out here.
Come on.
But yes, please.
I think Zhalgas Zhumagulov, I think the reason he loses a lot of these decisions is because he desperation shoots.
I feel like he needs a beard.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, please go on. Sorry.
No, you're good. So, yeah, I think that kind of makes you look desperate in the judge's eyes. Like, he'll bank around and then think, like, I'm good. I'll just shoot and try to get control. And it's
he doesn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying.
He takes your back and, like hugs you and cuddles you.
And he's going to shoot 10 times to get you there.
And then do nothing.
Right. So
that's the thing.
I get it.
Yeah, do damage then if you get there.
Anywho, Rafael Estevam, undefeated out of Brazil. He fought in Shuto, then he fought in the LFA. Now he's here after the Contender Series. 26 years old, very high pressure, wants to grapple. He relies on trips and drags out of the clinch. He does a great job once he gets you on the ground. He's not going to get up. He's going to ground and pound. He's going to look for subs. The jiu-jitsu is very, very legit. He has a tattoo of a jiu-jitsu black belt on his heart.
I have literally written here, we know he's good at jiu-jitsu because it's tattooed on his chest.
Literally.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. So, if you guys have seen... There's a lot of stuff on Fight Your Pass. If you want to look this dude up. Anyways, I think this fight...
I love when you say that.
I think the fight's closer than the odds makers do. I think Zhalgas is tough to take down. He's tough as hell. But I can't choose a guy... I can't choose him over a guy that's undefeated.
He was also going to retire.
Right, after the last decision, the Charles Johnson fight, which is
how good does that look now?
Terrible.
He's fucking awful.
That's so sad.
You liked him more than I did. Right. I bought in after watching film.
Yeah.
Because he looked very composed and well-rounded. He's fucking trash, bro. I know he got robbed versus Ode, but...
Anywho, Zhalgas Zhumagulov, like I said, I cannot choose him over a guy that's undefeated, much younger, much taller, has longer reach.
Lost to Jeff Molina.
Okay. And he has the jiu-jitsu advantage. So, yeah, I'm taking the undefeated Rafael Estevam, probably by decision. I don't think there's a finish in this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you on the decision, too, and the winner. I do agree that Rafael Estevam's going to win. Zhalgas, again, whenever you hear a guy talking retirement, it gives you a little bit of pause.
You don't like that.
He's lost his last 3. He's lost 5 of his last 6, and I think they were all in the UFC. I think this is probably it for him. If he loses this... he's got a weird cult following. Maybe it's because of the multiple wives. But like I said, got dominated by Jeff Molina, your boy. Only UFC win was versus Jerome Rivera by sub.
We were there.
Right. He's a good wrestler, but really nothing special anywhere.
And that's another guy that's no longer in the UFC by the way, Jerome Rivera.
But it's kind of like a name in a weird way, right? I don't love him, man. I don't know. His striking technique's not good. Like we said, he lost to Charles Johnson, who I'm convinced now is trash. He also constantly fakes eye pokes. So he does get eye poked, but come on. Do you have particularly pokeable eyes, bro? Come on. Rafael, undefeated in a few good organizations or segments, right?
Yeah.
Shuto, LFA,
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
All that.
We know he's good at jiu-jitsu. Like you said, it's tattooed on him. He's undefeated. It's pretty straightforward to me, man. He looked great on the Contender Series. Yeah. He weathered the grappling storm in the first round on the Contender Series. He took over on the ground after that against a better wrestler. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, I really like that he constantly looks to do damage, even when he was in full guard on top, which is not a position that a lot of guys will think to actually try to do damage in and throw actual damaging strikes in. Most guys, when they're in full guard, they're looking to pass into half guard, into side control, top mount. Yeah. They're looking to move right from there. So for me, the fact that this guy's always looking for damage, I really like that. I think that aggressive style that he has will benefit him in this fight. And yeah, I think he's got it anywhere it goes, man. Most of his wins are finishes, but I do think this will be a decision. I agree with you. Yeah. 30-27, 29-28, whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
Cool.
Moving on. Next fight on the card, and we should probably pick up the pace a little. I'm sorry. I'll take the blame on that.
You good,
man? Whatever. I'll put timestamps.
Right.
So who cares how long we go?
You don't want to hear this shit?
Yeah.
Don't watch. But please do.
Yeah. It's Ikram Aliskerov versus Phil Hawes. And I'll let you go first on this one, my friend. Right? I went first on the last one?
I have no clue.
Yeah, go. No, I think you did, actually.
Yes.
So Ikram. Only loss in his pro MMA career is to Hamza at Brave FC. And if you're at all an MMA fan, I'm certain that you've seen this knockout. It's the famous Hamza uppercut knockout where he throws it with the most perfect textbook form uppercut. Yeah. Typically, MMA uppercuts look different than boxing uppercuts, and especially than training boxing uppercuts. But this literally looked like an uppercut that I would throw at training.
Right.
Like the form.
No, I get you.
But I can't believe... That's when I realized how much power he had. Hamzat, that is when I saw him execute an uppercut with, no, wind up. Just unreal, dude. So I'm sure you've all seen that. But that's his only loss. And if you've watched that fight, which I'm sure you have at this point, he was putting up a pretty good fight, man.
Yeah.
Before that, would you agree? He was putting up a pretty good fight before that. In all levels, too. So... He fought at Eagle FC. He looked good on the Contender Series. There aren't a ton of guys at middleweight that can grapple like he can.
Right.
So I think for him, that's the biggest advantage in this weight class. I think it's a perfect weight class for him. So I think he does have a path to relevance in the UFC.
Of course.
For what it's worth. On the Contender Series, Mario Souza, he was eating some shots against him, man. And he got stuffed on his first couple takedowns, too. Eventually, he did get him down, got the Kimura. So I like his relentlessness, you know. And like I said, he gave Khamzat a decent fight. And look at where Khamzat is now. And maybe some of that's hype. We really haven't seen, if you think about it, we haven't seen Khamzat tested against many high-level fighters.
Yeah, it's just the Burns fight.
I know, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. But he's been floating around. But nonetheless, even just the Burns fight, even though it's a smaller guy, right? This guy's a legit 185er. I'm just saying he's got good wrestling. He's got decent power on the feet. Is his striking the most technical? No, it's not. But he throws some fun stuff. He's got good flying knees. He's got legit power. And if he needs to, he'll take you down and ground upon you. He's got good wrestling. Yeah. So on the other side, we got Phil Hawes. And man, if you're a UFC fan, you know all there is to know about Phil Hawes, right? He's got legit power. He's a decent fighter, man. He's got a couple decent wins. Imavov, who just fought Sean Strickland. We thought I had Imavov winning that. Yeah. I don't think you did, actually. I think you had Strickland winning that. Yeah. But in any case, I'm just saying, he does have some questionable things on his records. He went to decision with Kyle Dawkins, which now looking back on it, Kyle Dawkins is absolute trash. Win versus Deron Win.
Deron Win, yeah.
Which, is that saying a lot? Deron Win is not great, right? And he's lost 2 of 3 since. He did lose him to really good competition. Roman Dolidze and Chris Curtis. Yep. Phil Hawes, super explosive, legit KO power. He does tend to gas out like a lot of these heavily muscled guys do. And I think that's really the tail of the tape here. And also, Phil Hawes, we've seen him be a little chinny at times, right? Sure. So he's got okay wrestling. It's not Dagestani level, so he's tough as shit. Especially we saw him get his knee popped versus Dolidze. That was crazy, dude.
Yeah,
and to keep fighting, man, like, do you remember what the verdict was on that injury? He must have torn an ACL or something. He had to have
blown everything.
But I feel like he wasn't out that long.
7
I don't know.
months.
He's a beast of a man. I'm not taking anything away from Phil Hawes.
Yeah.
But I just think Ikram Aliskerov is going to be too much for him. I don't know by what way, but I'm going to go with Ikram Aliskerov regardless.
Cool. I agree on the outcome. I am going Aliskerov here. I just want to throw in a little something. On the feet, I think Hawes is the more technical striker for sure. He may have...
But he's not super technical.
No, he's not a super technical guy. Yeah. But I think he is the more technical guy. I think Hawes has the better power. And when it comes to the grappling, Ikram is the better wrestler.
Yeah.
Even though Phil Hawes is absolutely no joke. He's a Division I national champion in wrestling. So he knows his way around the mat. I think that's kind of what this is going to come down to. Is if Aliskerov can get Phil Hawes down, I think the fight's over.
Really?
I think he's a wet blanket. He's hard to get off you. And that's what it's going to boil down to.
And he's another guy that goes for damage. He will throw some...
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think if Hawes is able to stuff the takedowns, he's got a shot. If he doesn't,
absolutely.
Aliskerov, with that being said, I'm going Aliskerov probably 30-27.
Decision.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Moving on to the next fight on the card. It's the 5th fight of the night. It's a bunch of fat dudes. It's Parker Porter. Parker Porter. Great haircut, first of all.
It's good.
Really fat. So fat. Oh, the titties on him. Versus Braxton Smith, who literally deadass looks like a much shorter Bob Sapp. Yeah. Dude is jacked. And I don't know if you know much about steroids.
Okay.
But this dude definitely was on them.
He dabbles?
Oh, dude, 100%. When you do steroids, the first things, which I always enjoy this muscle, and I wish I should have done more steroids in my life, is your traps. Your traps, there are a lot of receptors in your traps. Your traps blow up. So that's why you see all these jacked ass dudes on steroids with massive traps.
Yeah.
Dude, look at his traps.
No, they're huge.
And he's not lean. Dude is jacked as hell. Like we talked about this earlier. They say he's 5'11". This man is not
he's like 5'9".
Not an inch above, not half an inch above 5'9".
Yeah.
But man, you know what? This is a pretty tough one for me. I'm actually very curious to see what you have to say about this one. Parker Porter, typical fat guy heavyweight. He got absolutely KO'd viciously just a few months ago by Justin Tafa, and it was a bad knockout. He's not as bad as some of these other big fat dudes, and I don't mean that maliciously. I'm just saying he's not.
He's a step above that, like those sloppy heavyweights in the UFC.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Clear step above.
Yeah, a clear step up. You're right. And you'd look at him, he looked like he'd be the worst one. But he did lose to Almeida, which obviously doesn't age poorly whatsoever.
No shame in that.
But when you think about it, that fight, Almeida weighed 224 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was 265.
Sure.
So that's a 40-pound difference. That is insane. And he manhandled him. Manhandled him.
But who hasn't he manhandled?
No, absolutely.
You know,
I'm just saying,
I just
dude,
wonder with Almeida, and we're going to see him next week in the main event. I just kind of wonder with him.
No, he's an outlier,
Until
dude.
when, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what level?
Who's he fighting next week again?
Jairzinho.
He's going to mess him up.
I agree.
He's going to wreck him.
I agree.
First round.
Yeah.
How much? I'm curious to see what he's going to weigh for that fight.
We finna find out.
So, in any case, manhandled by a 220-pound Almeida, you know, doesn't look great. He's not the most technical striker, but he's got some technique, you know? And he's got some power in theory. We've seen him wrestle a bit, like, versus Bedoya, you know? He mostly wants to bang. Braxton, the beautiful monster Smith, one of the most interesting fighters on this card. I went through this with you right before we started filming tonight. He first had his pro debut in 2014 versus Chase Sherman.
Yep.
He lost. Okay? He literally hasn't had an MMA fight since until last year, 2022. So think about that. You go out, you're this huge jack dude. You lose to this whack-ass white boy, right?
Yep.
And you're like, fuck this, man. It's not for me. I'm
this.
trash. I ain't made out for this. I ain't cut out for this. It ain't for me. Right?
Yeah.
8 years later, you're like,
Let me try this again.
well, you know what? I want to whoop some ass. Right? And I don't know if this shit is true on Tapology, but since then, he went 0-1. Since then, in the last year, or less than a year, he's knocked out 5 dudes in the first round.
Which is wild.
Wild. And he's all a 5'9". He's jacked as a goddamn tank. So, this is weird to me, right? Like, you would think, like, oh, what are the odds on this dude? Do you know?
Parker Porter's a slight favorite.
Okay, slight favorite. Okay. So, I'm going to lean with Parker Porter, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's a big dude. He's a big goddamn dude. He's been through so much better competition. All of Braxton Smith's fights are in the last year, and he didn't look amazing in them. Like, he didn't look technical. He's just a goddamn tank, dude.
Yeah.
He just throws absolute bombs. So, you know, way stronger comp. He does have that head kick knockout, which is wild. You know, that being said, I know that at least one of the guys that he's fought is an Uber driver.
Okay.
I forgot what I was watching. I clicked on I think it was like a YouTube video of one of the fights. And somebody commented, it was like, dude, like his opponent was like, it was my Uber driver in Vegas. Like, and he's like, he was giving me advice about like my jiu-jitsu.
That's ridiculous.
So take that. You know what I mean? That means something. He's got unreal power. He's sloppy. You know, if Parker Porter should win this. That's what it comes down to. If he loses this, it's time to go. Okay? That's all I have to say about this.
Yeah.
Parker Porter should win this. Like, my only thing that gives me pause, Dino, is how do you feel this fight's going to end? Winner or not? First round knockout.
Yeah.
But
probably.
then if I pick that, I'm like, Braxton Smith should be the one to do it.
Yeah.
But I can't go with it. I'm still going to go with Porter. I could see him getting knocked out, though. So fat.
100%.
But please,
So,
give me your thoughts.
I agree with everything you said. I just have to stick with what I see and what I know, and that's Parker Porter has the better striking, he has the better grappling, he has the better cardio.
100%. Oh, the cardio. Dude, the cardio on Parker Porter is decent.
Yeah, and we don't know about the cardio from Braxton Smith because we've never seen
There's
him
no way it's good.
outside of 2 minutes.
There's no... He's shaped like Coach Hawthorne. There's no way...
Shout out Coach Hawthorne.
Shout out Coach Hawthorne. Send this to him.
Jacked, if I gotta find him.
Oh, my God. Hey, listen, there's no way you're that jacked and you have great cardio.
Right.
Like you're a cardio machine.
There's
no way.
So, yeah, I think if Porter can survive the first 2 or 3 minutes, he's going to win. A couple of leg kicks, and he throws really good
leg kicks.
This fight can be over, and I can see a TKO or a submission due to exhaustion after like 4 or 5 minutes. Not like due to exhaustion, but I mean just kind of like giving up.
I can't do it.
Right, one of those. I can't do it.
Please.
Yeah, first round.
Yeah.
And if you are going to bet Braxton Smith, as you mentioned, there's no reason to not bet KO first round.
Oh, you have... That's...
Right.
He's certainly not getting him the goddamn Kimura.
Right.
So, in any case, moving on to the next fight on the card, it's Marina Rodriguez versus Rob Schneider. Werner Jandiroba.
Let's get it.
Please.
All right. Marina Rodriguez, I think she is clearly the better striker in this matchup.
Oh my God, it's not even close.
Yeah, and Virna Janjanova, I believe, has the grappling advantage in this matchup. Marina Rodriguez, last time out, she lost to Yo Girl Amanda Lemos. And the only other loss of her career was a split decision loss to former champion Carla Esparza. Virna's losses have come to Esparza, Mackenzie Dern, and Amanda Hebas. Janjanova's style is a little bit all over the place. She swings wild, but it's to get in. To the grappling. You know, she wants to push you up against the fence. She wants to look for the takedowns. But I do like that she's always aggressive.
Push up on it.
Yeah, she's trying to push up on it. But she is very, very aggressive. I think this fight's going to come down to one simple thing, and that's can Janjanova take down Rodriguez? If she can, she'll win. If she can't, she'll lose. I've been kind of back and forward on this all week, to be honest with you.
I think you're tweaking.
But I'm changing it up, and I'm riding with my girl, Virna Janjanova here. By decision.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was picking Marina Rodriguez for a while, and then I was like,
I think you're tripping, dude.
That's fine.
I have literally written here, this is a lock of the night.
And it might be.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't feel that strongly about women's fights.
Yeah.
And this is...
And you shouldn't, ever.
This is one of the locks of the night for me.
That's what I'm saying. Don't be surprised.
I'm going to be surprised. I think Rodriguez is better everywhere, especially in the striking.
100% in the striking.
And
you think she's a better grappler?
I don't know. Not necessarily a better grappler. I think the grappling is at least equal, I guess.
Okay.
I just think the striking difference is so vast, and she's got the reach and length advantage too. Dude, it was just months ago that I was expecting her to get a title shot.
Yeah.
Virna Jandiroba is not that guy, pal. So for me,
I mean, she has fought some good competition.
She's tough as hell.
Yeah.
I have it by decision. And I do think it'll be 30-27. Personally, I can see it 29-28, but I think this is one of the locks of the card.
And that's fair. I was picking Marina Rodriguez for a long time, but I just changed it.
We'll see what you say when your money's on the line.
Let's get it.
When I text you on Saturday afternoon.
You already know. So we don't even get into that.
So don't tell them.
Right.
In any case, now this is where it gets really interesting. The next fight on the card, it's a certified, would you say ya boy? I think this is a ya boy.
Khaos
Williams.
Yeah.
Man, it might be an R boy, but I feel like you had him before. So
you see that?
What?
Instagram. I don't know what the hell's going on, but
what's going on?
I'm getting blown up.
They want us? Nah. That's fine. Khaos Williams versus Rolando Bedoya, and man, this is a really, really interesting one for me. Mm-hmm. Khaos Williams, one of the most exciting guys on the roster.
Yeah.
And I know you feel me if anybody feel me. So, got hands, legit KO power. If you've seen any Khaos Williams fights, he'll put your lights out. He's fought decent comp, man. Pretty impressive wins on his record. Miguel Baeza, Al-Hassan, Semmelsberger, who we just saw get robbed recently. Semmelsberger won that fight. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. He's not super one-dimensional like a lot of power punchers are, man. He's got decent takedown defense. He's not like a wrestler guy, not anything like that. No. But like he's not just like swinging for the fences. Like he's working on his shit.
I think he's improved a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. We saw him get out of a serious knee bar attempt versus Baeza, who's a submission specialist.
Right.
That, to me, is all I need to see. He's also shown he's got a decent chin. He's been rocked, but like never really stumbled like that. He's never been finished. Yeah. He's never been finished in his entire pro career. He's not the most technical striker, but he's maybe the biggest power puncher at 170. Mm-hmm. So I like this guy a lot. He does get a little sloppy at times, but when he does, it's usually on the interior exchanges. The issue being for his opponents, if he's got you on the interior, there's a good chance that he's landing.
And you're going to sleep.
And you're going to sleep. So for me, I don't mind that he gets a little sloppy there. The fight with Randy Brown, I believe it was a split decision. Dude, Randy Brown is a legit fighter, man.
Yeah.
And he looked really good, really technical, such a different type of striker than Khaos Williams.
Agreed.
But Khaos Williams, by the end of it, made it a goddamn brawl. So I really like this guy, man. He's got really good, powerful leg kicks, too, that he's added in his last few fights. Randy beat him, in my opinion, because he worked behind his jab and his head movement.
Yeah.
He was really unorthodox, kind of like Bobby Green, right? Unorthodox with the jab and then unorthodox with the head movement. So, great chin, great front kick. I just don't think that Bedoya has the type of length to deal with Khaos Williams, to be honest. Also, Bedoya is making his debut.
Yeah.
It's a really tough debut, and there's another one on this card. And to me, it's kind of wild that they're giving this kid Khaos Williams, a premier power puncher. Khaos has good takedown defense, like I said. Bedoya's going to want to take him down. I think he's going to have a hard time doing it. If he does have a chance here, that's what he obviously needs to do. Technically, he's the more well-rounded fighter, I guess. He's got a nice win streak, but to me, man, this is another lock, to be honest. On this card, Khaos wins by vicious KO.
Yeah. I think, as you know, for Bedoya, he comes in with some hype. As you mentioned, 14-1. He does have good movement, good footwork. He strikes and gets out. That's what he's looking to do. But the thing that worries me a lot is that he gets hit. And he's shown a really, really good chin to this point. But I don't think there's a chin in the weight class.
You haven't fought somebody like that.
Right. I don't think there's a chin in the weight class that can handle the power that's coming from Khaos Williams. So I think, as you mentioned, terrible debut to get. A kid that's hittable versus a dude with real power.
Weird. Yeah. A weird debut to give him.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of those short notice.
It was short notice. I do have to trust Khaos Williams via KO. I think it'll probably come in the second, but it can be a late first knockout.
Yep. Absolutely. Moving on to the next fight on the card. It's your boy Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Devin Clark. Dino Bam Bam, please give me your thoughts on this one, my brother.
Let's get it. Kennedy is an absolute my boy. A long body dude with some good power, good takedown defense. He can at times be slow and low output. Which
he is kind of slow, man.
Frustrates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because, like,
he's been higher output recently.
Yes. He looks like he's improving
and
every
the ground
time out.
game, too.
Yeah.
Really does look improved.
I think he's a very well-rounded fighter.
And as long as he... I'm sorry to keep
No, you're good.
But as long as he is, the fact that he showed a ground game is almost like exponentially positive.
Yeah.
Because he's so long.
Like, right. He doesn't look like a guy that would have a ground game.
He surprised me in his last couple fights.
Yeah. I think there comes a point in every fight, though, that especially as of late, where like a switch gets turned on, and then he starts attacking, and that's when he looks really good. And oftentimes, it's after he's been getting his ass kicked for a little bit.
Yeah.
We saw that in the Cutelaba fight. He had the violent knee there.
Cutelaba, smart. Make that Brazilian, too.
Cutelaba. Anywho, I think he's got really good size, 83-inch reach. Dude's a tank at the 205 division.
83-inch reach has to be like one of the top five in the UFC. Yeah.
Anytime you see anything in the 80s, it's like, okay, dude's long-bodied as hell, you know?
Yeah.
Then we have Devin Clark, who we talked about before. Solid grappling, pretty powerful in the striking realm. He's a grinder. The last time out, he beat Down Young. And I believe we said on this show for that card that you never know which Devin Clark you're going to get.
Long body motherfucker got the heart of Achilles.
Okay. I didn't know we were going to go there.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going there.
I had to say it because like all I could hear when you said long body is hard body. So, anyway.
Anyways, I think it's a no-brainer here. I'm going with my boy, Kennedy, by knockout. That's the pick. If he doesn't start super slow and he isn't overly gun-shy, he's going to get the knockout. I'm going to say round 2, similar to the Ion Cutelaba fight.
Do you like Devin Clark? Like, what do you think about him as a fighter?
I mean, as a fighter, I think he's a solid fighter. Yeah. I'm not like a big fan of Devin Clark. Yeah.
He's one of those guys where I would just wish he was better.
Yeah. Fair.
Does that make sense? Like, I can't think of many now.
Yeah.
I just wish he was better.
Okay.
You know? He's so athletic, man. Mm-hmm. He must have played football or something. Probably. Like, man, versus Mirzakhanov, who just beat Dustin Jacoby, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Not that means a lot. Dustin Jacoby is apparently just ass. So he landed a nice head kick, rocked him. Devin Clark, man, he's pretty well-rounded. He's very explosive when he wants to be. He is kind of a slow starter sometimes, but when he explodes, he's a really good wrestler. He's a JUCO national champ, but we've seen him get rocked, man. We've seen his chin tested, you know. Again, I just wish he was one of those guys that is just a little bit better, a little bit more resilient than he is.
Yeah.
And he's getting older, too. How old is he now? He's
33.
The Brown Bear, 33. Man, at what, 185?
205.
Oh, 205, thank you. And didn't he fight a heavyweight recently? Or yeah, I think he fought a heavyweight briefly, one fight randomly.
Not sure.
Or okay. In any case, I don't know, man. Like, I know that's not too old for the division, but he's had a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of fucked up damage. And he's so tough, dude. The one fight where he got his goddamn teeth knocked in.
Yeah.
Dude, that was
really bad.
That was, like most people may not look at that and be like, oh, that's so bad. Like, I think I would rather get my leg snapped than, like, get my, like, literal, not teeth, bro.
Like, pushed
your gum, your bone.
Yeah.
Like... Ugh. Dude, that seemed brutal.
Grimy.
So, tough-ass dude, man. Like, who am I to say? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Murzakanov could have finished him, man. If Murzakanov was just a little bit smarter and had a smarter game plan, he could have finished him. I'm sorry. Yeah. He could have finished him earlier.
Yeah.
Because, like, he finished him in the third. Mm-hmm. He could have finished him, like...
much earlier.
At the late first, early in the second.
Yeah.
He just, like, didn't. So, he finished him in the third. He did beat Dawen Jung, which is a really good win, man. Yeah. It's a really good win. So, and it was only a couple months ago.
That was very surprising.
Very surprising. Yeah. And then this is where MMA math don't be mathing, is that Dawen Jung beat Kennedy.
By the weirdest knockout.
And that was a pathetic knockout. That's like a thing with Kennedy that gives me pause.
Always.
It's like, what the fuck happened, dude? What the fuck happened? So... he's kind of similar to Clark Kennedy, that is, in the terms of you never know which version of these fighters you're going to get, man. Mm-hmm. Both of these dude, Devin Clark has fought really good high-level competition. Yeah. Kennedy Nzechukwu has fought okay competition and won against some good guys after this knockout that I thought he was going to lose to. Mm-hmm. So he's impressed me since, but I could see Clark trying to wrestle here, but then after seeing how long Kennedy is and his improvement on the ground, I don't even see him winning that battle. So
let me give you a little bit of MMA math, even though we often say it don't be math.
Yeah.
It seems like Devin Clark's losses in the UFC, Aljamain Murzakanov, who I think we will probably see in the rankings at some point in the near future.
I do think he's overrated, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's the greatest fighter.
He's not one of those offs that are like...
Sure, but I think he'll be a guy that we'll see at 15, 14, 13 in the rankings. Yeah, that's fine.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. Hey, come on.
Iwan Kutalaba, a guy that has been ranked.
I hate him.
I don't like him either. Anthony Smith, a high-ranked guy. Ryan Spann, a high-ranked guy. Alexander Rakic, a high-ranked guy. Jan Blachowicz, a high-ranked guy. Those are his losses.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like he loses to the guys that are ranked UFC fighters. And I think Kennedy is going to get to the rankings at some point in the near future.
MMA is weird, man.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. So, and I like your breakdown, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't, with Kennedy, my only question is, like, is he chinny?
Maybe.
Or is he not chinny?
Right.
So, like, it's... like, the Kennedy that we've seen in the last two fights is so different than the one that we saw lose to Dawen Jung.
Yeah.
I hated in the Dawen Jung fight. This is all he was doing.
He has been improving, though, man. He's been with
I know, but, like, I hate...
Spann
one of my biggest... As a MMA enthusiast, a guy that actually watches for technique, somebody who's actually trained, right? Mm-hmm. One of my least favorite things to see in guys is, like, guys that fold when you start throwing.
Yeah.
Or, like, shell up completely. There's some guys that shell up that do well with it, but, like, they'll move. But Kennedy, this was him early on.
Right, just cover.
Like, just constantly, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't know, man. There's been, like, two distinct Kennedys for me, so this is hard for me. He's got great knees. He's got the momentum. I'm going to go with him. I do think the odds should be a touch closer, but I'll go with Kennedy. I don't know by what finish, but I'll go with Kennedy, too.
Yeah.
So
let's get it.
In any case, moving on to the next fight on the card, it's known racist. No, I'm just kidding. I dead ass take that back for real. Like, that's such a stupid joke. I really hate that.
Okay.
But you've heard it though.
Yeah.
You stupid one. All right. So in any case, it's Drew Dober versus Matt the Steamroller Frevola.
Yeah.
This is this is a really good card. This is
the main event of the prelims, right? This is the final prelim.
You tell me. You're the
this is
the guy that pays attention to.
Yeah, this is the final prelim, and I think it's a great way to end the prelims because this is like a stupidly exciting fight.
Dude, these guys are both insane,
and that's why I did want to ask you, what do they drink?
Oh my god,
we got to find out.
Oh, that's so hard. Drew Dober. Man, with that haircut, dude.
What do you? Yeah.
Man,
Does that play into it?
Yeah.
Does your haircut play into the what do you drink?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, I feel that.
Think about this. If I didn't shave my head fully bald,
yeah,
beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah. Boom.
If I didn't do all that,
yeah.
If I didn't do that,
okay.
if I just let it grow out and be thin as fuck, and I'm gonna maintain this wispy ass fucking hair,
right?
You would be like, oh, this guy drinks Bud Lights.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But like this, you're like, this guy will have a beer.
A beer.
Tequila.
More beer.
More beer.
Let's go.
Exactly. See, it makes a difference.
I get
it. In any case, man, I think this has legitimate fight of the night potential.
So what do they drink? You're not going to skip it.
Oh, god damn it, dude. All right, Drew Dober.
Look at him.
God, look at that goddamn chin, dude.
It's a great chin. In more ways than one.
Man, okay, my initial thought is he doesn't drink, bro.
Yeah, that's fine.
Look how shredded he is.
I can accept that.
He drinks
He's the guy at the club.
He drinks whiskey sours.
Okay. So you think when he does indulge.
Whiskey sour.
Okay. And Matt Frevola. The steamroller.
Dude, he'll bang like a Modelo, bro.
That's it, just simple.
Or like a Miller High Life.
He's just like simple beer dude.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, I like it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
He'll have the occasional whiskey. He'll take a shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
It's no problem.
Yeah.
Not for you.
All right. Come on.
Remember the drinking out of cups?
Hey, that's literally where I thought of that too. That's right crazy. Now. What is this?
What is this garbage?
What is this garbage?
Hands.
Fuck you.
What was
5,
that
6,
called?
4, 3. Drinking out of cups. You said it. You said it.
Drinking out of cups.
Yeah.
Shout out drinking out of cups on YouTube.
Dude, that was it. If you come on, they must have seen that. I will link that when I do the.
Let's go.
When I do the timestamps, I will literally link drinking out of 5, 6. Oh, Mr.
5, 6, 4,
Balloons. Mr. Balloon Hands. Mr. Walkway, take me to the building. Fuck you.
Hey, that's a classic.
That's insane. In any case, man, going back to... Stop distracting me, goddammit. I have legitimate ADHD. These guys are the same goddamn fighter.
Okay.
They're such similar fighters. I think the biggest difference here is the power of Drew Dober and the chin of Drew Dober. I just trust the chin of Drew Dober a little bit more. And if we're mathing the MMA math, Terrence McKinney had his fastest knockout versus Matt, the steamroller Frevola, knocked him out in 7 seconds. Drew Dober fucked Terrence McKinney up, and I'm sorry, I love T-Rex. You know I do. Yeah. He's a fan. He's our guy through and through.
For sure.
But and I'm not basing just off that fight. It's just that Drew Dober, I think, is just a higher level fighter. I think he's got better kicks. He's a better Muay Thai fighter. Matt Frevola mostly is going to use his hands. They both throw crazy. But again, the chin difference is a difference to me, genuinely. So, Drew Dober's only losses, by the way, aside from a decision loss to who was it, man? Help me out here.
Who? Brad Riddell?
Brad Riddell, thank you, which was a close fight. His only other losses are to Beneil and Islam. And
Olivier Aben Messier of PFL fame.
Anyway,
shout out him.
I'm just saying, I really want to see Drew Dober. Maybe I'm selfishly making this pick. I really want to see Drew Dober versus some top strikers in this division. I want to see him versus the Poiriers, the Gaethjes, the Fizievs. I really do. Yeah. He always gets busted up. Weirdly enough, there's always a point of the fight where it looks like Drew Dober's going to lose, and then he goddamn wins.
Yeah.
And he knocks out these high-level fighters.
That's why his fights are so fun.
And Matt Frevola, too, man. He's really good. Fought good comp. He has a win over my boy, Jalen Turner. And it was early on in his career and whatever, but still, man, he's huge. So, I don't know. For me, if they're going to go crazy, and they will, dude. They for sure will. The first round could be a little bit of a feeling out process, but this fight's going to be insane. This is probably going to be the fight of the night. I just think that Dober has a better chance of having a higher damage output, even though he always typically gets damaged. He throws more kicks. I think his chin's better, like I said. I'm going to go with Dober by knockout in the second round.
Cool. So with Drew Dober, the first thing is the chin. It is crazy. It looks
physically and like,
physically and whatever. Like, dude has a wild looking chin, and he has a very good chin for taking a punch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, it is wild, and he takes a stupid amount of damage, which is concerning, but he seems to be fine. You know what I mean? I think him versus New York's Matt Frevola on a New Jersey card to end the prelims makes perfect sense. This, as you mentioned, this fight probably can be fight of the night, so perfect spot on the card for
How much
here.
would you have loved to see him versus Patty, though, at O2 Arena?
Drew Dober.
Oh, my God. And he drew on Ariel Helwani, said either today or yesterday.
They're not doing
like,
that.
Patty wasn't down, and neither were his management.
The UFC ain't doing that.
No way.
Anyways, Matt the Steamroller Frevola, very tough wrestler, heavy hands. The technique is pretty sloppy. He used to be constantly attacking takedowns, and then as of late, that's kind of changed, and he's starting to look a lot better on the feet.
Yeah.
And I've seen a huge improvement in him since the Terrence McKinney fight. I don't believe he shot a takedown in the Ottoman Azaitar or the Gennaro Valdez fights.
Yeah.
And he finished those two via knockout. And say what you want, but Ottoman Azaitar is pretty damn good.
Right.
So, impressive from Matt Frevola. Common sense says the pick here is Drew Dober, but something is telling me Matt Frevola is going to win this at home, man. So, I think if he can survive an onslaught and just turn this into, not get drawn into a dogfight.
He will, though, dude.
Yeah, right.
He will,
and that's
though.
the big if. If he can make this a little boring.
I'll see where your money is. Send me your parlays before the card.
You ready for this? Matt Frevola by decision.
Man.
Yeah.
What are the odds on that?
I don't know.
Well, we're not going to find it now, but my goodness.
Yeah.
Let me know. By the way, have we passed the card? There was one fight that he texted me earlier that he's going to have that's going to blow my mind.
That was that. I thought.
Was that?
Matt Frevola
that's what I was going to ask you, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, Matt Frevola.
By the way, I think I have like a skin allergy to weed.
Okay.
Because whenever I like touch wheat and then like touch my skin anywhere, like my eyes start to itch. But I have no other allergies and I smoke like a chimney.
Okay.
So, fuck's that about?
Crazy things.
Yeah, in any case, moving on to the next fight on the card, it's Kron Gracie versus an absolute certified my boy, Charles Jourdain. I guess I'll take this one first.
Go for it.
Charles Jourdain.
Okay.
Certified my boy. He's had a mixed record in the UFC so far, right? You know, like, I really like this guy, and I like his style of fighting. And maybe do I like him more because GSP was a Quebecois, and I really like GSP. He's my favorite fighter of all time. I know his last two fights are losses versus two really high-level competition fighters, Nathaniel Wood. Competitive fight, man.
Yeah.
Shane Burgos, competitive fight.
And Shane.
What a shame. And then he beat Lando Venata, Andre Ewell, and then he lost to Julian Erosa, who, you know, we've seen as kind of like a gatekeeper of this division, which gives me a little bit of pause. But Charles Jourdain, man, every fight is fun. In my opinion, the keys to the fight for him are he needs to fight smart here, right?
Yeah.
He can absolutely KO Kron Gracie. Kron Gracie has nothing for him on the feet, in my opinion. You know, I know he's technically a Muay Thai fighter, whatever. Charles Jourdain, in my opinion, is better on the ground than Kron Gracie is on the feet, if that makes sense.
One more time.
Charles Jourdain, his ground grappling
is better than Kron Gracie.
Is better than Kron Gracie's striking.
Yeah.
Right? My issue is, and he's no schlub on the ground, and he's always competitive, man. Every one of his goddamn fights is competitive. He's still only 27 years old, and you know how much I love this guy. Yeah. I really do. I want him to keep winning. I genuinely, really, really, really do. My only, and I love that he can switch stances. He's one of the best, he's a premier stance switch fighter in the UFC. Mm-hmm. The one thing that gives me so much pause, Dino, and this is the fight that I said that I was going to tweak you off of because you know how much I love Charles Jourdain.
Yeah.
I think I have to go with Kron Gracie, man.
Okay.
The underdog. I have to go with the underdog here. You know why?
Why is that?
Because Shane Burgos took his back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Lando Venata took his back. Okay? Nathaniel Wood took his back.
Right.
Every single one of his last 3 fights, win or lose, he's had his back taken. And he's not bad on the ground. Mm-hmm. But he gives up position on his back, and I just think that against Kron Gracie, you can't do that. I know
of course.
My biggest things with Kron Gracie is, first of all, I don't think he's as the jiu-jitsu master that some other Gracies that we've seen in the past have been.
Father or his
he's not even close to his father and grandfather.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. he's okay on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's supposedly got like a boxing background. He's fine. He's got nothing for Charles Jourdain for me. He's obviously basically MMA royalty.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a win over Alex Caceres, who's obviously a really good fighter. I think he RNC'd him. He has a loss to Cub Swanson. Fun fact about that is him and Cub Swanson actually had. It was the second time they fought.
Really?
In 2020. Did you know this?
No.
2021 last or 2020 or whatever, 2021 or 2019, whenever they last fought, that was their second fight. The first time they fought was 16 years before that. Cub Swanson was 20 and Kron Gracie was 16. And it was in a grappling match, in a jiu-jitsu match.
Okay.
And gi, and it was 3-2. So it was very close.
Yeah.
So Cub Swanson basically picked him off and beat his ass throughout 3 rounds the last time we saw him. And he's been on a long layoff, and he's not a young man anymore. He's, 34 now?
Yeah.
He's super dangerous, man. I hate saying this, right? I want Charles Jourdain to win, and could I see Charles Jourdain knocking him out? Absolutely. Also, because Charles Jourdain loves to rip to the body. He's got great body shots. Yeah. He mixes it up, man. He's a smart fighter. Oh, this is so hard for me. I hope you understand how hard this is for me. I'm just leaning Kron Gracie because Charles Jourdain always gets his back taken. Mm-hmm. If you let Kron Gracie, even at 34, 3 years out of the game, take your back, it's not going to be good, man.
Of course.
It's not, and he can fight out of it, you know, but Shane Burgos basically held him down, man.
Yeah. So
it's really tough for me, and I hate picking against my boy, and I hope I eat my words, and if I do, damn.
Right.
I deserve it. Yeah. And I hope I do. But I'm going to go with Kron Gracie by sub. I don't know at what point, but at some point.
Sure. And I have written here, literally, I understand the logic if you want to take Kron Gracie.
Yeah.
Is something that I have written down because I get it. There is holes in the game.
I hate that you're gonna take my boy.
Yeah.
And I can't. It kills me.
Mm-hmm.
It kills me that if I'm wrong, I deserve to be wrong. But why did I pick against my boy?
No, I get that. And again, though, I understand why Kron Gracie is a lot of people's
Kron's such a cool name.
It's a really cool name.
Is the camera still good?
That's a great question.
Sorry, I pounded the table out of passion.
You look good?
Oh,
okay. So, shout out NWO.
New World Order.
So, yeah, I understand the logic behind picking Kron Gracie. It makes sense. We have seen holes in Charles Jourdain's ground game.
I'm trying to see his holes.
So, but I think the striking, I think he does obviously have the striking advantage.
Well, that's not even close.
Yeah. So I
and
am
the power advantage.
I am
also Kron Gracie. I just want to say, I apologize.
No, you're good,
dude. He doesn't. I forgot to mention. I have it written down. I hate his defensive movements.
Mm-hmm.
He's got such bad defense because I feel like he knows that the threat of the takedown.
Okay. So you're sticking with it, Kron Gracie.
No.
You're changing it.
I'm going Charles Jourdain by TKO. Okay. No, I can't.
Okay, so Kron Gracie.
I don't feel like I pick enough underdogs. I'm going Kron Gracie. But Charles Jourdain, if he rips the body, dude,
he can win.
Kron Gracie doesn't defend any body shots. Dino, he doesn't defend any body shots.
Yeah.
He keeps a tight, high guard, doesn't defend any body shots.
Mm-hmm. And against a striker of this level, that could be a problem. Let me ask you this. Kron Gracie via what? Submission?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying like a RNC or...
Probably RNC because he lets his back get taken.
Fair. So I am sticking with Charles Jourdain. I think it's going to be a fun 15 minutes.
I feel like such a bitch right now.
It's okay.
I feel like such a traitor.
Hey, it is what it is. Charles Jourdain,
but also I can't deny my research.
Yeah. I think he will get himself in that position once.
But we've seen him get out of it.
And survive.
But we've seen him get out of it every time.
Yeah.
But it's Kron Gracie.
No, I get it. That's why I have that.
Oh, this is so stressful.
Let's get it.
Anyway, moving on to the next fight on the card. It's Movsar Evolev versus...
Did you have a nightmare writing Movsar Evolev into your thing?
Oh my God.
It kept going to Evolve.
And I was every time, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like Raichu, Pikachu.
Movsar was correcting to Mover. It was crazy.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really did hate that.
Yeah.
But it's Movsar Evolev versus Diego Lopes, and I'm actually very curious. Let me show them how curious.
That's pretty curious.
Like, look at this.
That's good.
Look.
Tickling the little chin hairs.
Doesn't that look curious? I'm
good.
so curious to see what you have to say about it. So please, don't keep me waiting any longer, Dino.
I don't know why you're interested to hear what I have to say about this, because I just think it's pretty damn simple, and it's a tough ask for a newcomer to immediately step in versus a top-ranked guy.
The odds on this haven't been released.
Yeah, at 145 in the UFC and featherweight division. I think Lopes' only chance at winning this is a Hail Mary sub, and I don't see that happening. Movsar Evolev is too safe of a grappler. He is a wet blanket. He's beaten guys better. And I think it's a very, very safe 30-27 Movsar Evolev. And I don't even want to really dive into it. I will say one thing. I would have been a lot more interested in this fight had it been Bryce Mitchell, who I was taking Evolev to beat Bryce Mitchell.
Me too. I have it written down here too.
And I'm really interested to see Movsar versus Ilia Topuria, which was another fight that fell off not too long ago. I think that's where this guy belongs, is fighting those kind of dudes.
Yeah.
And
I love shrimp tempura.
Tempuria. There we go. Okay. That's a good... You wrote that down?
No, I didn't.
I was going to say,
came up with that
would be corny as hell if you just wrote that down in there.
My guy,
Shrimp
when have I
tempura.
ever written... Oh, they're going to love this. Like, when have I ever written anything down?
Yeah, so I'm going the mover Evolve by 30-27.
Yeah, now I'm looking back at my notes. Why did I write this much about Diego Lopes?
Yeah.
Is that insane?
No, he's good. He's good, but this is just too much.
Yeah.
It's too damn much.
I agree,
at
man.
this point.
Evloev, like, again... To touch on the Tug Nasty thing, I would have still taken him, and I think that would have been a tougher opponent. The Nick Lentz fight does give me a little bit of pause. Nick Lentz was working his ass.
Nick Lentz is a lot better than people think he is.
I'm serious.
No, I agree.
Shout out Nick Lentz for real.
Yeah,
Nick Lentz is legit.
I think he'll be at the fight.
And when you watch the fight, I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
When you watch that fight though, right? Mm-hmm. Which for me, I was like, dude, Nick Lentz is working his ass.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the fight, you're like, holy shit, look at Nick Lentz's face though. Like that's the biggest difference. Movsar Evloev never shows any damage.
No.
Never any damage. And Nick Lentz's face looked fucked up. So also his last fight, I think, was against Ige, who's obviously a great boxer.
Yeah.
Dude, he fucked up Ige on the feet. So, man. I haven't seen the odds on this. They haven't been released as far as I can tell. See if you can find some odds on this.
I was looking earlier, man.
See if you can find some. Just like for the people. If they're crazy, I would sprinkle a little bit on Diego Lopes.
By sub or just in general?
Just in general, dude. Well, it depends on the odds.
I'm not seeing odds. Minus 667 for Movsar Evolev, plus 400.
Yeah, those are pretty crazy.
For Diego Lopes.
And Diego Lopes is a finisher, right? In my opinion, Movsar Evloev, he's not as good submission-wise. Mm-hmm. Diego Lopes has a distinct advantage submission-wise, jiu-jitsu-wise. Yeah. But he's a better wrestler by far.
Yeah.
And neither of them are super technical strikers, but I'm very confident in the fact, and let me know if you agree with this, is that I think Movsar Evloev has the distinct power advantage.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he's like a little tank, you know what I mean?
He's a tank.
He's 5'7" compared to a tall, lanky guy at 5'11" for the weight class. Like, yeah, he's a little tank, and he, like Movsar Evolev, if you've never seen him fight, he is exactly what you think he is by hearing his name.
But
he does a damn good job at that.
But a better striker than you would think he is.
Yeah, a little better. I think he's a little technically better, but it is the same. The power's there. Like, they all have power.
But he's got really good cardio too, man. Like,
as do they all. That's kind of the generalization.
Yeah.
I think he's a very high level at what... He's a very high level version of that style of fighter. And his record shows it. His wins show it. And I think this is just a terrible, terrible debut.
I agree, man, but Nick Lentz almost got him in some submissions.
Yeah.
Like, very goddamn close. And again, props to him for getting out of it.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about that being a finish now. But
Don't get it twisted. I'm sprinkling the Hail Mary.
I'm sprinkling I have that written here. I have literally that written here is I would sprinkle Diego Lopes by sub. Mm-hmm. If the odds are crazy, and now it sounds like they are crazy,
yeah,
I will absolutely will sprinkle that.
Yeah,
sprinkle. I'm not gonna put like 5 units on that motherfucker,
right.
but you know,
right.
I do think that Evolev loves to strike. He always goes for the finish too, right? So my only concern is like, dude, don't go too crazy going for the ground and pound finish in like full guard. Mm-hmm. Like you will get submitted, right? And then I go back to like Joe Anderson Brito is pretty damn good, right? But he's not as good as Evolev. Evolev has beaten better guys than Joe Anderson Brito, and I know that fight was it was actually a very upsetting finish to that fight where he got eye poked so bad, and Brito got the point taken off, but he still won the decision, and I get that he should have probably, but man, I think there is a place for this guy in the UFC. I hate the opponent. Agreed. And yeah, that's really all there is to say. I'm going to go Evolev by decision.
Yeah.
Moving on to the third to last fight of the card, it's Jessica Andrade versus Xiaonan Yan.
Xiaonan.
Am I supposed to go first on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is pretty straightforward to me. It's Jessica Andrade. Back down at a lower weight class, 115.
Yeah.
She's a goddamn tank. She hits like a truck. She hits like a dude. I really like Xiaonan Yan. I genuinely do. And don't get it twisted. She's what, number 6, 5 ranked strawweight?
Yeah, she's high up there.
Dude, she's really goddamn good. And she's had some really high level fights. She has lost to Carla Esparza, I believe, right?
Carla Esparza and Marina Rodriguez are her 2
and
losses.
That was a close fight too. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man.
2 losses in the UFC.
My only thing is, there's Jessica Andrade is 5'1.5".
Yes.
Xiaonan Yan is 5'5", 63-inch reach. That's not a great reach. What's Jessica Andrade's reach? 62. Yeah, I ain't worried about it, bro. So yeah, you know what? Like, I think the ground game's a wash. I think that Xiaonan Yan is the more technical striker. I really love like the oblique side kick that she throws to the knee.
Yep.
If she can utilize that and keep Andrade at a distance, I could absolutely see her winning this. What are the odds on this one? I think it's like 2-1 favorite for
Jessica Andrade.
Jessica Andrade, yeah, -195, +155. I would sprinkle a little bit individually on Xiaonan Yan too. But, man, I think to beat Jessica Andrade, you have to be a Blanchfield, who I think is a future champion, or like top Valentina. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be like a top-level fighter. So, I think that's really what it comes down to for me. I know in the scrambles, Andrade gets a little sloppy. I just think if she lands one punch, she's so much stronger. That'll be it.
Yeah. I mean, we look at... Again, we know the MMA math don't be math, and you look at her losses, Jessica Andrade. Losses in the UFC. It's been Joanna, it's been Wei Li, it's been Thug Rose, Valentina, and now Erin Blanchfield, who looks like she's the real deal. And I just don't think that Yan Xiaonan is that level. She is a good striker, Yan Xiaonan. She is looking to make the fight dirty most of the time. She's taller, she's a little bit longer than Jessica Andrade, but I don't think she has the power to keep Jessica Andrade from pushing her and pressing her backwards. And when is Jessica Andrade at her best?
Would you press up on?
I'll press up on it.
Jessica Andrade.
I might press up on it. She wouldn't like that.
Or would you rather Xiaonan Yan?
Either way, like,
come on.
You know?
No, you're true.
They're both not my cup of tea.
Oh my god, I'd way rather press up on
Yan Xiaonan.
Yeah.
You sway that way. But anyways, Jessica Andrade, as I mentioned, at 115, crazy. Like, she is a dog. She's a former champion. I think this is where she's at her best. Everything's well-rounded. The grappling isn't all that technical. But I think when she bullies girls is when she beats them. And when she can't bully them is when she loses. I don't think Yan Xiaonan can stop her from bullying her.
Yeah.
Remember the Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards? He's bullying you, Rook. Don't let him
He's
bully
bullying
your
son.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Don't let him bully his son.
I think Jessica Andrade.
I don't know why that shit gets me emotional, bro.
It's cool.
It does.
Yeah, but
what do you think about this?
What do you think about it? Oh, are you moving them things?
You like that?
Not necessarily.
It doesn't do anything for you.
No.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, I think Jessica Andrade is going to bully Yan Xiaonan here, and we'll see a 30-27, maybe a 29-28. Call me crazy, but sticking with the theme, I'm sticking with my girl.
Yeah, you're
not the Azteca, Jessica Andrade.
You're a known racist, so I don't doubt that for 1 second.
Which part of this is racist? The picking the Brazilian chick or the
China woman
over the Chinese lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep. In any case, the co-main event.
of the evening.
It's your boy, Belal Muhammad.
Don't do that.
Versus Gilbert Burns.
The actual my boy. Like a top level my boy, Gilbert Burns.
Same.
That's
Man, what a guy. And what a streak he's been on.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know that there's many other fighters that I've gained as much respect for, especially after I already liked him. I loved Gilbert Burns. Mm-hmm. But after the Hamzat fight, they taking it. He could have gotten knocked out cold in the first round. I would have been like, that's that dude.
Right.
Like, and my God.
Big respect.
My God, he almost dropped his ass. Mm-hmm. So, and he's not even, he shouldn't even be in 170.
Yeah,
he can fight at 155, dude.
Right.
So.
But he's been great at one.
I think this is the goddamn time where Belal Muhammad, Chicago boy, I get all that. It's the time. That's the end of the streak. He's already been making excuses, talking about, I weigh 210 pounds. And then there's been other interviews. He said he never cuts that much weight. He only cuts like 15 pounds.
Right. He's just
so
all over the place.
Which one is it, bro? Mm-hmm. So now you're not ready. Now you're ready. He's also hella pillow-fisted. I watched back some of the Sean Brady fight. And he got caught with a couple shots. Apparently, Sean Brady's a bitch. So, Gilbert Burns is not. Certified not a bitch. He throws some goddamn heat. And I think this is going to be it, man. I think Gilbert Burns gets the finish here. I think he'll win by TKO in the second or third round.
Cool.
Or is it a 5-rounder?
That's a 5-rounder.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's break that down. Belal Muhammad, in my opinion, would you agree, has the better wrestling.
Yeah, offensive
and
wrestling.
It starts and ends there.
Offensive wrestling.
Yeah. And it starts and ends there.
Agreed.
Gilbert Burns has the better jiu-jitsu, the better submissions, and the better power, and even the more technical striking, I would say. I still will go with Gilbert Burns. If it's a 5-rounder, god damn, I guess, man, that makes it harder. I can't really pick the finish by that point. I think either way it goes, though, I'll go Gilbert Burns, and inshallah he wins either way because I'm sick of Belal, man, honestly.
Okay. I want to start with Belal Muhammad really quickly here. 9-fight streak with no losses.
Let's just say that's super impressive.
Very impressive.
And I'm not gonna lie, ever since he started taking steroids, super impressive.
He's been on a tear.
Amazing.
And you
can't take that away except for he did steroids because how do you get suddenly super jacked at like 33 years old? But awesome.
So anyways, he's 8-0-1 in that 9-fight window. The one is obviously the no contest against champion Leon Edwards. That was the eye poke situation. He has the ability, Belal Muhammad, to exploit his opponent's weaknesses.
Yeah.
That is what he is best at.
That seems so mean.
Well, it is what it is. And I mentioned that on the casuals thing. If you guys haven't seen that, please go check out MMA
Watch
Casuals.
our short form videos. He does such a good job with it.
Thank you.
He puts his heart and soul into it.
I do. Thank you. But I mentioned that on there. So when he's fighting a guy that's a striker that has no grappling, he's going to wrestle fudge you, as you like to say. And then on the other hand, when he's fighting a guy like Sean Brady, who's a wrestler with
that was the most surprising one for
I was
me.
surprised.
I thought that was anything
I didn't know that Sean Brady had no type of
My only question is, like, how much more of a bitch is Sean Brady than I thought he was?
Yeah.
Or how much better is
Belal
than I thought he was?
Right.
And I'm leaning more towards, like, Sean Brady just bitches.
Right. And that's fair. And there are impressive wins in there. Like, he did exactly what Gilbert Burns did to Wonder Boy. Yeah. He didn't let Wonder Boy
What a
stay
boring
at range.
goddamn fight that was.
They were both
that we were at.
Both of those fights
we were at that, right?
We were at the Burns Wonder Boy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then Belal Wonder Boy was the same thing for 2 more rounds.
But Belal dominated his ass.
Yeah. Anyways, I just think that Belal tries to exploit weaknesses, so we have to look at Gilbert Burns' weaknesses, right? Some people are going to argue his chin is a little weak because we've seen him be susceptible to the straight shot down the middle. We saw that versus Hamza. We saw that versus Kamaru Usman.
Yep.
So we've seen that. The other thing we worry about is maybe the cardio of Gilbert Burns. He does seem to fade late, and this is a 5-rounder.
He's looked pretty good, man.
I'm just saying, if we had to point out a weakness, we'll look at that. I do want to look at the last 4 fights for these guys, just because there is a disparity in the level of competition. Belal has fought Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, Wonderboy Thompson, and Damian Maia, whereas Gilbert Burns fought Jorge Masvidal, Neil Magny, the same Wonderboy, and Kamaru Usman. And Hamza Chimaev.
Right.
Tripping. Anyways, Burns has the better strength of schedule. I think he has the striking advantage. He's faster, more explosive, the more powerful guy. The grappling goes without saying. It's Gilbert Burns. When you're on the ground, he has the advantage there. So I don't see why Belal having the slight wrestling advantage would want to take it to the ground.
Yeah.
Because you're screwed there.
Right.
So I think the fight takes place on the feet, and I think Gilbert Burns has the power to back Belal up and make him get a little bit desperate. And I think Burns finishes this in the first round, man. Belal's coming off supposedly a big weight cut. Then it was a small weight cut. He's coming off Ramadan. How much has he been training? How much? The Family Guy thing?
Yeah.
So, like,
what did I just say?
Ramadan?
Yeah,
the Dennis Rodman thing. So I think just with all that, this is not an ideal time for Belal Muhammad.
Yeah.
But I think he thinks it's ideal because I don't know that he believes he can beat Khamzat Chimaev. You know what I mean? Like,
you would love that.
Or Kamaru Usman, even though he has been calling those guys out. I think he's like, hey, man, I think I could beat Leon Edwards because I've been in there with them, and I got to get
his ass whooped.
Whatever.
I'm sure he does, though.
And he assumes he could beat him, and he probably thinks, hey, man, Burns in a 5-rounder is probably my best bet. But I'm going Burns, man. First round TKO, first round finish.
Yeah, hopefully Belal gets burned.
Terrible joke. I don't like that. Don't touch me.
Moving on to the main event of the evening.
Sponsored by. Hey, this is our longest video yet, by the way. Just
Zoloft and Tanqueray.
Yeah, come on. Shout out Tanqueray.
Also, shout out Dino's favorite water, Distillata.
It's good water.
Hey.
Oh, what do I know?
Come on.
What do I know?
What's up? How long is this video?
We're at 1 hour and 20.
It's great, though. It's great content.
You having fun?
Yeah, I'm having a great time. In any case, nobody wants to hear what I have to say about the main event. You're the main event guy, but I will say what I have to say. Mm-hmm. Henry Cejudo. Triple C. Olympic champion. Out for 3 years, right? Mm-hmm. Very dominant before that at lightweight.
Not lightweight.
I'm sorry, at flyweight. Bantamweight. Beat some legit goats in both divisions. Yeah. And, man, he's looked good doing it. And, dude, he only started fighting MMA, like, 7 years ago type thing. Yeah. Like, that's insane. I just think that Aljamain, since his surgery, has looked really good. I know a lot of his wins have been flukes. My biggest thing is that Aljamain, for my money, is one of the best, if not the best, defensive fighters in the UFC.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that? Yeah,
the only thing that comes to mind is getting knocked out with that knee, but I think that was kind of fluky.
And then what happened when he fought Peter Yan after?
Right. No, not that knee. I'm sorry. The was it Marlon Moraes who knocked him out with the knee? Yeah, Marlon Moraes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the only flaw in
his striking. Dude, Cejudo has such short legs and such short arms. He's got more power than Aljamain, I would say. But he's also 36, dude. And it's such a small weight class. And he's been out for years. I don't know. This is such a question mark to me. I'm so excited for this fight. Yeah. Because when you become a coach, I feel like you start noticing. You got
to notice those things.
You got to notice some things. When you start noticing things as a coach, is like, and then you start fighting back again after years. It's like, dude, you're gonna pick up on those things that you've been teaching your fighter. Because look at his track record with his fighter. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
So, for me, I think the biggest difference is Cejudo obviously has the better wrestling.
Yeah.
Aljamain, I think, has the better jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I agree.
Aljamain has the length. Cejudo probably has the power. But Aljamain probably has, the overall, length and technique in striking. Mm-hmm. I think this is as close as you get to a 50-50 fight, which is such respect for Cejudo. It's been 3 years, man, you know? I'm going to go with Aljamain, and it's really tough, again, because, by decision? Probably by decision. But 5 rounds? Can he last 5 rounds, Cejudo? I don't feel confident about it at all, but I'm going to go Aljamain by 48, 47.
3-2.
3-2.
Okay.
Decision. But the moment we've all been waiting for.
I want to say something, though. This is a minus 110 both sides, so it's a complete coin flip.
Yeah, and as it should be.
And it makes sense.
And honestly, that's respect to Cejudo. He hasn't been.
It's
here.
Because of who he is.
Yeah, man. And respect, and rightfully so.
And I think Henry Cejudo does deserve his spot on some Mount Rushmores of MMA goats and whatnot.
And if he wins this,
he's probably the best small guy.
Listen, Dino, more than anything,
yeah,
I want Aljamain to win because I like him better as a person. Mm-hmm. But also, for the love of God, get out of this division. Let's see what Merab can do.
Sure.
If he loses, he's not leaving. And then we have Merab to deal with. Fucking,
Anyways, Henry Cejudo coming off the long layoff, 3 years. 3 years ago today, he was the double champ. He beat Dominic Cruz on knockout on that night. He's been around the game in his off time. He's been calling fights for Eagle FC. He's been doing the fight breakdowns on YouTube. He's been coaching a ton of successful fighters, as you've mentioned. John Jones, Wei Lee, Mighty Mouse, Figgy, our boy
not
Yuri.
Conor McGregor.
Not Conor McGregor. He said he wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't do that. Shout out Yuri, by the way. He still follows us. And shout out Impa Kasanganai for the follow.
Impa, man!
Certified my boy Impa.
And my boy now, too.
And I love
Adopted.
That. Love
I'll
that.
cradle you like a little... like that. I'll give you a little kiss on the forehead.
So, anyways, obviously, Henry Cejudo's wrestling is world class. He won a gold medal. Aljo's been joking about that. Like, have you heard that he's an Olympic gold medalist?
Haven't you heard?
Yeah, you haven't heard the word? Like
I'm glad you knew what I was talking about.
So, his wrestling's world class. But he doesn't use it too much in his MMA. It's kind of weird. I think Cejudo sees something in Aljamain Sterling that in his mind he knows he can exploit, which is why he is back here.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in his coaching style, Dino, because with Yuri and with Figgy and with Wei Lee and with John Jones, all the fighters that he's been coaching, they've come out and they have found a weakness in their opponent.
Yeah.
And they've pushed that and they've been successful.
Also, I just want to say, all those people were really goddamn good.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking...
Before Cejudo got there.
Yeah, we're talking world-class people,
but
champions.
You just keep that in mind, though. Seriously.
Right.
Like,
Henry Cejudo is a genius when it comes to fighting. He understands what he's watching. He sees the, people's holes... Pause. He sees what people are good at and what they're not good at, and I think he sees holes in Aljamain Sterling's game that he wants to exploit, and that's why he's here.
Yo!
Stop. Don't do
that. I'm not trying to see that. I'm not trying to see holes exploited on TV like that, dog.
Anyways, let's go to Aljamain Sterling. Wildly underrated, in my opinion. Everyone loves to hate on him for winning the fluky title and all that other bullshit that he's gone through in his title fights. We had the Dillashaw injury, the close decision to Peter Yan.
I kind of want Cejudo to win. I want to see Cejudo versus O'Malley. Yeah.
So, anywho, I think Aljamain Sterling's jiu-jitsu is disgusting. I think it is otherworldly.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger differences.
And that's why they call him the human backpack. Like, he didn't get that nickname for nothing.
Backpack.
Shout out Dora. Aljo's lanky. He's rangy.
I just love you so much for always getting all my references like this, dude.
Thank you.
No, that's insane. Like, some of them are so obscure, I feel like.
So, he's lanky, rangy. He's obviously the much taller fighter in this matchup. The striking is close. The grappling's close. That's why the odds are so close. That's why I think it's going to be a damn close fight. With that being said, which is a quote that Aljamain Sterling has been using a ton in his interviews as of late. With that being said.
Yeah.
With that being said, I have to stick with my boy. Who would I be if I didn't? 48-47, Aljamain Sterling.
After I chose against Charles Jourdain?
That's been a theme on this card, if you didn't notice. I picked every my boy and my girl on the entire card.
I changed my pick, Charles Jourdain by TKO in the first round.
So 48-47 Aljo. I think he's going to secure rounds similar to the Peter Yan fight, where he's probably going to get Cejudo's back at some point, and obviously he's not getting up. I think Aljo's going to shoot the takedowns. Cejudo's going to be able to stuff him, but he's going to be a little rusty, and he's going to give his back up sometimes.
You think Cejudo wants to stuff him?
Yeah, exploit the holes and stuff him.
I feel
that's
like,
the game plan.
Yeah.
That's what life is.
Nah,
really.
that's a...
You trying to find holes, exploit them, stuff them,
once...
and get a paycheck.
You're right.
That's
Are
life
you done?
and MMA. No.
We're going to keep going.
I do want to finish off by saying I think that facing a guy as good as Aljo after so much time off isn't a good thing.
Yeah.
As good as Cejudo's wrestling is,
I think he's getting the credit that he deserves.
I think as good as Cejudo's wrestling is, we're going to see Aljo out-grapple him. I'm going 48-47, my boy, and still the black and gold befitting a champion.
The black navy and goals.
The little jackets.
Yeah. Jaqueta. A wise man once told us.
Let's hear it.
It's not about
Oh, yeah.
the face you fuck.
Yeah.
It's about the fuck you face.
Agreed. And that's how you feel and that's how you want to end this card?
I just want to leave it at that. Shout out Coach Brown.
We shouted out Hawthorne. We shouted out Brown.
We sharded. It's been a day.
It's been a wild day.
So,
and still, I'm super duper excited for next week because we get to see the aforementioned Jailton Almeida.
I don't get that excited about anything in my life these days anymore.
Because you're depressed? It's okay. People will talk to you. You guys should reach out. Help them out.
Yeah.
You don't want to see someone struggle.
Help.
So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow us. Ring that little bell down here. You can also follow us on Instagram at the107MMA. I said it correctly that time.
Is it racist if I bow?
No.
True.
This is DS, a.k.a. MMA Young Boy. Young Bao. Bao is really good, by the way. It's a good
I feel like
food.
that was for sure racist.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm Dino Bam Bam. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.